And so, lastly, we're going to discuss weight gain or obesity. Now, whether or not caffeine consumption correlates to obesity or weight gain, it's unclear. And partly this is because obesity and weight gain is a very complex process that involves a large number of variables at play. So it's really difficult to concretely say whether caffeine consumption has a significant effect, especially because of the research done in support of the idea that caffeine promotes weight loss, which of course is the opposite of our variable here. So now going back to the mouse study conducted by Ardeas et al., in this study, no significant difference was found in body weight between the adolescent rats that were treated with caffeine and the adolescent rats that did not receive caffeine. And these rats, for those wondering, were monitored over 25 days. And they were roughly the same as each other in body weight. And now, even worse for our purposes, but of course better overall, caffeine appears to really be helping consumers to lose weight. And yes, this is in the context of those trying to lose weight, so perhaps this is not very noticeable in adolescents. But in any case, to quote the findings of Reza Tabrizi, who is an assistant professor of epidemiology and a researcher at the Non-Communicable Diseases Research Center, she essentially found in her study that with every doubling in caffeine intake, the average reduction in weight, BMI, and body fat doubled in tested subjects. So for every doubling of caffeine, these all doubled as well in reduction. But even if this study is applicable to adolescents, it really isn't advisable for adolescents to go on diets because, of course, they're still growing. Reducing calories might affect their growth, and having weight loss happen at a fast rate would undoubtedly complicate their development. And now, don't get me wrong, weight loss is certainly encouraged if the child is far above the healthy weight they should be at. But their weight loss at such a young age, at the very least, needs to be gradual. And caffeine, although it helps us adults lose a few pounds, will not do adolescents any favors. And now, these findings are not the end all be all, as there are some studies that hint at caffeine contributing to weight gain in adolescents. One of these was conducted by one David McComrick, who is a pediatrician and is affiliated with the University of Texas. And in this study, he monitored the dietary habits of children ages 24 to 36 months, so a rather young crowd. But altogether, he found that of these children, 42%, oops, 42% became overweight or obese. And of all the children, about 58% of these children were consuming caffeine at an average of 0.48 milligrams per kilogram per day. And now, what's even worse is that the study also found there was a high correlation between caffeine intake, weight gain, and nutrient deficiency. This is compared to children who were not eating or drinking caffeinated products. So, what this translates to in numbers is that the children would ingest 121 more calories per day and 3.8 grams less protein, which over time is a very big difference. But altogether, in this front, more research should be done. And in particular, some questions like maybe does caffeine increase cravings, or do people who consume caffeine have a tendency to consume less nutritious foods? Those kinds of questions should be asked.